It's a brew day, guys. If you've ever wanted to brew a Vienna Lager recipe, tune in today. This one's going to have a little twist to it, though, and I'll share that with you in a sec. Here we go. She's a brew day. Oh, yeah. Gang, what's happening? It is Big Robb from homebrewing.com, formerly Make Beer Easy. We teach you how to brew all kinds of things. You're going to find on this channel brewing tips, recipes, and how-tos, as well as brew days like today. We got a brew day, yeah. So today's going to be a little different. Everything's a little different with Big Robb. So it's a Vienna Lager recipe, but I'm not in the mood to lager a beer, and I'm not in the mood to wait 8 to 10 weeks to drink the thing. So guess what I'm doing? I'm mixing it up, and we are going to make a Vienna Lager / ale. So it's going to be an ale because I'm using an ale yeast. So this should be done in 2 to 3 weeks is what I'm going to do. So I've never done this before, but this is Make Beer Easy. This is homebrew, and you do what the heck you want, man. So I want the beer in a much shorter period of time. So I'll just cold crash this thing for 2 or 3 days. But I'm not lagering it. I'm not using a lager yeast. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. So stay tuned. I'll be right back with all the ingredients in the recipe. Water is right now at strike temperature, so I'm about to mash in. This is the Brewzilla. I've actually got my mash and boil going on another outlet. I'm getting my sparge water ready, so I use them both these days, which is kind of cool. I can't hook it up. I'd have it here with you, but I'm in an apartment and I blow the fuse if I hook them both up into the same deal. So we got them separated. And then I'll be right back and we'll review the recipe and the ingredients for you. Yeah, pretty soon. In a few hours, this will go from Java to a brew. All right, gang, here we go. Here's the ingredients. Funny thing is I ordered these grains a while ago and I had them tucked away, and I get them already pre-crushed. I'm not down to crush my grains at this point in my life, so I get them all pre-crushed, and I ordered this recipe probably 6 months ago. So these grains, the time to use them, but I was looking at them and I was like, what the hell is this recipe? Anyway, I figured it out because I didn't have it listed, but I figured it out. So it's a Vienna Lager. So all the grains are in this bad boy. We're going with, this is a I want finished at least 5 gallons is what I'm shooting for. I'll get into the calculations here in a little bit, but first let's talk about the grain bill. So for this recipe, if you want to do a lager, or if you want to do what I'm doing, try it as an ale, same grain bill. We're going to do 6 pounds of Vienna. We're going to do 4 pounds of Pilsner. You're going to have to get the kgs, you're going to have to do your own little calculations. 5 ounces of Caram Munich 1 and 5 ounces of Crystal 75L, okay? Hop wise, we've got 1 ounce of Willamette hops going in at the 60-minute mark, and then we've got, this is 1 ounce too, so I'm gonna have to half it, 0.5 ounce of Saz going in at the 10-minute mark. I'm also going to Warflock it up. I got myself some Warflock here. I'm pretty sure it's some Irish moss, so we're gonna put 1 of those in at the 15-minute mark to help clarify it. Really does a great job. And yeast. So Bob's your uncle, and what you want to do, the recipe that I designed calls for SAF Lager W34-70. So it's SAF Ls or Fermentes lager yeast, okay? If you're going to lager it, I'll put under this video, I'm going to put this recipe as well as a link to the how to lager. So if you want to lager, you can go ahead. I went out and got myself some, usually I was looking for USO5 and he had it, but then I love this yeast. This is Nottingham ale yeast. This stuff, it's like SO4 except crazier. The fermentation is wild, so I went with it because I haven't used it in a while. So that's what I'm using for yeast. So that's what I got, guys. I'll be right back. We'll talk about the water volume numbers and such here in the next one. I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, quick note about water chemistry. Ain't doing jack shit today because I'm not in the mood. This is Make Beer Easy, used to be, and I'm just not doing anything. And typically when I'm homebrewing, I used to own a brew pub, and there I'd get into all the detailed water chemistry, and I'll put a link if you want to get into water chemistry from my blog where you can learn all about it. But I usually do pH. I'm not worried about it. everything's gonna work out just fine, using a little bit darker grain, so it's gonna be fine. I don't care. I've brewed on this water many times and haven't adjusted anything, and I like the outcome. So that's what we're gonna do today. So as far as water calculations go, you're gonna have to come up with your own. I'll put a link. I'm using on this one, More Beer's got a good calculator. I'm using it, and I'm just trying to, I usually will just, because I'll make beer easy, man, I'll usually just 6 gallons of water and then sparge up to whatever level I want, which is typically I want to have a 5.5 into the fermenter, 5.5 gallons into the fermenter. This has got under 1 gallon boil off, so I will typically do like 6.5, somewhere along there. I've got the calculations broken down a little better. I'll put the link to the calculator so you can do them on your own. But I want a 6 gallon into the fermenter this time. So I'm doing a total, the calculations worked out to total of 9.64 gallons. I'm doing 9.5, total 9.5, rounding her down. Mash water, it's calling for 3.49. I'm doing 4 gallons this time. Like I said, I usually do 6, but I am make beer easy, man. That's who I am, and beer always turns out just fine, and I love it. But this time I'm trying to dial it in for you guys a bit. So I'm doing 4 gallons into here, which means I said I need 9. So I'm doing 6 gallons. I'm heating up over into the for sparge water. And all I'm going to do, guys, is I want to get it up to about 7.5. Okay, so I want 7.5 pre-boil, okay? If this is new to you guys, just bear with me. 7.5 pre-boil, so I'm mashing it, 4 gallons. The grains are gonna suck it up, so I'm gonna be, and there's gonna be trub left over and, wort left at the bottom that I can't get to. So I am going to, like I say, I'm gonna sparge up to my pre-boil level, which I said I wanted. And this time around, I'm going to do 7.5 gallons. I'm going to see what that does for me. Okay, so before I start boiling, I'm going to be at 7.5 gallons. So I know that didn't make sense, man. I'm going to give you the calculator. Don't sweat it. Figure out your own system. Your system's going to have a different boil off rate. These hardly boil off anything compared to my BIAB, which boils off almost the whole fucking, sorry, language, the whole volume of in the kettle. Significant difference in the boil off rate. So you got to find out your own. Plug it into these calculators. A lot of the presets in these calculators are pretty good. So just try them to start with, and don't sweat, man. Just make beer easy. So you're off by a few liters here and there, not a big deal. That's what I got. So when we come back, we're going to be doughing in. I might skip I don't know if I can get that camera going or not, where you can see me actually dough in. If not, you'll see me do it over there. And I just get it. You want to stir it as you dough in, and it wants to be like porridge consistency is what you're shooting for. So I'm hoping that the 4 gallons I have in there is going to do that, and that's why I usually go with 6. But again, I'm trying to dial this in for you guys. So we'll see. We'll be back for that. Yeah. All right, guys, we are doughing in. Temperature. I want to mash at 152, so I usually go about 5 to 6 degrees above for strike temperature. That's just basically just a fancy word to mean the temperature you want the water at before you put the grains in, because when you put the grains in, it cools the water down. So I'm at 158 right now, and by the time I get the grains in, set my temperature, we should be at 152. Smells good, smelling good, and so far the consistency is pretty good, so looks like the 4 gallons is going to work out. More Beer did all right so far. It's always nice to have somebody helping you on brew day, especially for this part, because we're getting pretty thick there now, actually. And it's interesting. I mean, sometimes I try to dial things in for you guys and get all technical. I want to get all that good stuff in there, but probably always a reason why I do what I do with the 6 gallons was right now we are quite thick. It's not porridge, it's more like bread in there. So I'm probably adding some more water. I've got the sparge water over there that's almost at the same temperature as the dough in. Absolutely way too thick. Can't do it, so I should have stuck with what I know. So I'm gonna up the mash volume a bit, and we shall be back for that. All right, gang, I'm putting an extra gallon from the sparge water I had heated up. Looks like maybe half will do it. So yeah, half is nice. So that's about half a gallon I just put in there. and it's got me the nice consistency that I like. Maybe I'll show you. I'm sure you guys are like, what the hell? So it's gonna get here. Some people complain, oh, the video's getting all jumpy, but yeah, it's gonna get a little jumpy. Here we go. I'll go nice and easy so I don't get you guys sick. All right, so that's the consistency I like. And before I just added this half a gallon, it was just rock solid in there. So what's that mean? 4.5 gallons to 5 gallons, the Brewzilla for this. There's 5 pounds of grains in this. So anyway, I'll make notes so I know, but before it wasn't enough. So, okay, I'll be right back. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna stir that up a little bit. You don't need to watch me do that. I'm gonna hit the recirculating arm and then I'll show you while everything's moving and grooving. Yeah, so all right, we are mashing now. So I gotta set my timer. We're going for 1 hour. So we'll get that set. So Brewzilla's got the mash and boil that I have is just a basic one. You can't see it over there. So it doesn't have the recirculating. This has a recirculating pump that keeps the mash recirculating. So I guess the thought behind that is that it keeps the temperature consistent throughout the whole mash, which is kind of cool. You can adjust the flow from this hose. So the hose goes in there. I just lay it on top and let it kind of go down the side. I don't put it into the grain bed itself. And then you can adjust the flow. You don't want it full on, so kind of, you don't want it to trickle either. So anyway, I got her in between, just right. And what else was I gonna tell you? So this time around, I don't think I've done this before. I've only brewed like 4 or 5 batches in this thing, kind of embarrassed. Anyway, I used the filter on the bottom. There's 2 filters that come with this thing. Usually I only use one because I hear you can get a stuck mash going on. Which we don't want. I want that pump to continue to recirculate, so I might stir it a bit, but this time I use both filters, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on the flow. As long as the flow is going good, that's good. So I'll take the cover off, give it a couple stirs every, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and we'll be back for the sparge, guys, so hang tight. Oh yeah, brew day is on. All right, gang, so brew day, always issues, and it's been a while since I've brewed, and like I said, I've only done a couple batches on the Brewzilla, a little different than the mash and boil. So I forgot to put, there's a screen you put down over the mash, and then you take off the little rubber stopper and you put this metal piece on top, which I've done now, but what I've discovered is I got a little overzealous with the volume I put in, because now I'm finding that a lot of water's going down through the top, as is some grain pieces, so that's not good. So when I have the pump on, which I don't have on right now because I got to figure this out, I have to really slow it down. So guess we should have listened and stuck with the 4 gallons, but we went 4.5 and it's a little too much. And this might just be a problem because I use 2 screens. That might be what's going on, because I haven't run into this before. So anyway, it's all, it's just homebrew, man. Just live and learn. It's all good. Yeah. So, brew day, as I said, always an adventure. It's been a while since I've brewed, as I've said many times, because I'm getting pissed off. Anyway, brew day is always an adventure. Something's going to happen, especially when you're a little rusty. So, what was happening was I couldn't stir because this bad boy was in. What also was happening was, as I had this recirculating, so this is going to be like a what not to do with the Brewzilla, as well as a Vienna Lager Ale brew day. As I was recirculating, the level of the water was going over top of the little drain, so I'd be getting all these grain husks and such down into the wort, which you don't want. So what I had to do is I had to take that and put it on the ground, because it's too hard to do there. I did this. I pulled the grain bucket out and let it drain a little bit so it could go down under, so I could get a hold of this, take it out, and now I'm just going to do an old-fashioned mash and boil one where I'm just going to stir for the next, I'm going to stir a lot instead of using that pump. I might try the pump again, but I'm just going to stir and we're going to do it that way. Just make beer easy, man. You got to roll with it, and we'll fine-tune this thing for the next one. Anyway, that's where I'm at, guys. Stay tuned. Hopefully next thing will be the Spargeroonie. All right, guys, so what I'm finding, again, this is turning into more of a Brewzilla do and don'ts and how to screw up a brew day with the Brewzilla. So what I'm finding is, and I've heard about this because of that, I use the 2 meshes on the bottom of the grain bucket. So what I'm finding is that second mesh, as I've heard, really slows and can cause a stuck mash, so that the water's not draining through, the wort's not draining through the bottom, so the pump. So what's happening is anything that's, I've got it really low, like the pump, the recirculation really slow, and it's already heading back up to go over top of the pipe, so we'd be getting shite down into the wort, which we don't want. So next time I will not be using that second mesh because I've never used it before. I don't know why I thought I'd be doing that today. So what I'm doing here is I'm just continuing to adjust the flow, stirring it, turning the pump off, stirring it, letting the wort level drop back down. So we're having fun. We're having fun. I need a beer. Yeah. Mash is done. Worked out okay. We got her. We're good. I feel good about it. So I've already lifted the grain. I got the basket out. Let all the, you just sit it on the edge here. Let all the wort drain down through. I've started to head up the boil. So I've gone to 212 Fahrenheit. Programmed it in. So we're going to get that going. And I ended up with, I started with 4.5 gallons. I'm down to 4 gallons, so I've lost 0.5. Hope I want to get up to 7.5, so I'm going to need 3.5. I should have approximately that. This water was heated in the mashing bowl at 170, so it's sitting at about 170 now. And all we do with this Brewzilla is just simply around the grains, fill her up until we get to our level. So that's as tough as asparage is with the old Brewzilla. So we'll be back. Probably hitting boil by the time we get back here, so hang tight. All right, gang, we're heading to boil. So asparage is done. Water worked out perfectly. I mean, exactly. So I'm at now 7.5 gallons, which I don't know what that is. 20 some liters. Not sure. You'll have to do the math. A little Google search. So that's cool. So now I'm heading to boil. I'm at 168 degrees Fahrenheit, heading up to 212, and then, so one thing I gotta watch out for is the boil over, because this thing only registers 8 gallons. I'm thinking it's probably a 9 or 10 gallon kettle, so I gotta watch for the boil over because that'll make a mess and that'll make me have to clean more, and I don't like that. So we'll be back once we hit boil. We'll be adding our hops, and we're getting there. Whew, time to crack a beer. Yeah. All right, gang, we are getting close to boil, so I gotta keep an eye on it. We're at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll show you what it's looking like here in a sec. I've now got my fermenter. This is the old Spidell. Love this one. I think it's a 30 liter Spidell. It's great. I used to use the big 1 barrel ones at my brew pub. I think they're awesome. And then I've got all the extra gear, anything that's going to touch the beer, the wort. After the boil, you got to ferment. You got to sanitize it. So everything's sitting in there sanitized. I got this sanitizing. And we're almost there at the boil. You want to see what it looks like. Don't complain if the camera gets wobbly. There we go. So it's looking good, smelling great. I'm in an apartment, and the whole apartment's just smelling like a brewery, which I think is awesome. Anyway, so we'll be back here, and it'll happen faster now, so I got to pay attention so I don't get a boil over. So we shall be back here real soon. We got a boil, guys. Not even close to boil over. I started stirring it when it hit to about 208. Now it's at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So we got a boil, so we're doing a 60-minute boil. We're doing 1 full ounce of Willamette hops going in now. And then what I'll do is I'll set the timer for the 45-minute mark. So that means 45 minutes into the boil. It means 15 minutes left in the boil. That's when we put the wort flock, and then 10 minutes left in the boil. We're gonna put the size. So I don't use a hop splitter. I use these Muslin bags, I guess they call them. Sometimes I'll dump the hops straight in. Other times when I want a clearer beer, I'll just drip it in like that, tie it off on the handle. So that's what I do, and we'll be back in 45 minutes. It'll seem like a flash for you, yes sir. We are just about at the 15-minute mark, about 18 minutes to go in the boil. Time to sanitize the immersion chiller. Comes with the Brewzilla. I didn't give it a good enough cleaning last time after. It's okay, it's just hop debris and kind of some of the sediment from the boil gets on these things. I just gave it a wiping, but I'm seeing there's still more there. So anyway, you want to get it in there. You get it into the wort, the boiling wort so that it sanitizes it. So you want to get it in there about 15-20 minutes before the boil's done, so it gives it a good sanitizing. Just drop her in like that. Like so. So we got 15 minutes left in the boil. Warflock Irish Moss, just 1 tablet's all you need in there. You just take it, you drop it in, and it helps to clarify the beer, help you make a nice clear beer. One of the things that I do. So then we got 5 minutes, and that'll have us down to the 10-minute mark, where I'm going to add, I've got the hops split up. So I have 1 ounce of Saaz. Recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm going to do half ounce, and then I'm going to dry hop the half ounce 3 or 4 days into the fermentation too. So all right, that's it. Back for the last hop edition. We're at the 10-minute mark. I've got the 0.5 of Saaz in my hand. Not putting them in the bag. I'm just going to drop them right in. No big deal. And that's it. We'll be back. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, where we will be beginning to chill the wort down to yeast pitch and temperature. We are definitely getting our brew on. Yes, sir. Almost time to crack a brew. Definitely during the chilling phase, Big Robb's going to chill himself and have himself a pint or 10. Indeed. Cheers, guys. Definitely time to have a pint. We are now at wort chilling time. So step 1 is we turn these both elements off. I've forgotten to do that before. And chilling while it's still boiling. So that's really great. And then what we've got is an immersion chiller. Water, you can't see my sink, but that's all right. You get the idea. Cold water in, goes through those coils. Okay, can you see that? Goes through those coils, and water back out. That's how I do it. There's other ways you can do it as well, and there's different ways you can chill beer. I used to be big into the no-chill method, which I'll put a link down under this video to the different methods that you can use for chilling your beer. So I'm going to turn the water on. And I've actually got a timer going, because I find it actually takes longer than you would think to chill the beer. And one of the not issues, but one of the things I think they need to modify on the Brewzilla is that this wort chiller, the top of it's right there, and it only goes down to about there. So it doesn't go down deep into the wort itself, and I think that's one of the reasons it takes a little longer than I thought it would to chill. Anyway, so it's on, I'm timing it, it'll probably be half an hour, 45 minutes is my guess. So we'll be back, and we'll be ready to transfer to the fermenter and pitch that yeast, baby. So hang tight. We are done chilling, took forever. I think the thermometer either had a hot spot on it, or maybe it had some warm trub on it, or what have you, because it took a long time, and then I finally had to stir it, and it magically dropped down to under 70 from like 100 and some degrees Fahrenheit. So anyhow, good stuff. We are gonna pitch the yeast now. So I've already got a little bit of the wort in there. Probably gonna be a little cloudier than I like, because I did stir it up, which wasn't great. So I just dump it right in, and then we'll turn this on. And right now is the only time oxygen is good for the beer. So let her splash around in there, put the yeast in there, and she'll be good. So I shall be back. I'm going to take the hydrometer reading here, and I'll be back for that. And then we will be done for 2 weeks, because I'll be letting her ferment. So we'll see you in a couple seconds with the hydrometer reading. Okay, guys, we are all transferred over to the fermenter. Everything went good in the transfer. Everything went good on the brew day, except for the initial mess up, little shite I got into with the just with the volume and the water running through. Anyway, we're not gonna rehash that. So we're all into the fermenter. I've got the hydrometer going. Original recipe was only 5.5 gallons into the fermenter. I decided to go 6 gallons into the fermenter, so of course my OG's a little off, not by much. It was supposed to be 1.050, the recipe called for. It is now 1.047. So if I hit the final gravity, which is 1.009, beer should come in at just about 5%, that's great. I'll be happy. I'll even be happy if it's 4.5. That's fine with me. So good looking color. Haven't had a sip yet. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I shall do that. That's gonna be nice. It'll be fine. It'll be good. It's gonna be good. That's what I got, guys. So I will be back in 2 weeks' time. Gonna put that away. I'll let it ferment for 2 weeks. I might be back actually for the dry hop. That'll probably be in 3 to 4 days. So I'll pop back into the dry hop, and we're gonna ferment it, and we're gonna keg this bad boy, and then should be taste test time. So guys, so it's the next day. Beer has just started bubbling a little bit. I got to put away. But what I've decided is I'm going to upload this video. So I'm going to start doing brew day videos, and then I'll follow up with another video on the taste test. I'm sure that'll show up here once it's once I've got it loaded. You'll see a link here or a video on the screen here. So that'll be 2 weeks from now. So if you're looking at this video now, you gotta wait 2 weeks before you're gonna see the taste test. But that's what we're gonna do. So be sure to subscribe, hit the old subscribe button, give her the old like and all that stuff so you get notifications when the taste test comes around. I'm looking forward to it. Cheers, and we'll see you on the next one. Big Robb, well, he gone. Yeah.